start setting up, shall we?
Good afternoon, everybody, or whatever time it is in your part of the world. Welcome to this stream. This is Philbert Flies, and this afternoon we are going to be flying from Nantes Atlantique to London Gatwick, flying Easyjet flight 8962, and we are parked up here at stand 2 at Nantes. So let's get on board and let's get started. Kevin, nice to see you. Dazza, nice to see you too. And S Wally 1, hello, welcome to the stream. So I've set a few things up before starting as per usual. We've got power connected, we've got our ADIRs aligned, and we've got our nav and logo lights on. Now we're due to depart at 0900 local, which is 0800 Zulu, so in about 15 minutes time. And won't worry too much about a few minutes either side of that. But that said, let's get going with the MCDU. So with the fly-by-wire mod, we now have a few additional options. So we have a not a fully featured, but a highly featured AOC menu where we can request our weather. So no longer do you need to go to an external website to check the METARs. We can now have a look at it in here, and it automatically picks your departure and arrival airport. Hello Caffel, hello Slimline, and hello LJ Vlogs. Nice to see you all. So it's just a question of pressing send, and I can't remember if I did. I think I did. And then once the weather arrives, we'll get this company message notification in the upper ECAM. And to view it, we can go back to the AOC menu, and we can go to receive messages, and yes, I did press it twice. We can click on the METAR, and we can see what we're dealing with. So here at Nantes, it's a lovely day. Clear and visibility okay. Winds are variable at 3 knots. QNH is 1032. What is it in the sim? 1031, so close enough. And temperature's 12, so not bad at all. And at Gatwick, broken clouds at 2200, temperature of 12, winds 240 at 11. So not too bad there either. Okay, I think the first thing we should do is listen to the ATIS using Pilot 280C, then we'll get our clearance and get underway.
Nantes Atlantique Information Whiskey, 13-0 Zulu, winds are light and variable. Visibility 6 miles. Sky condition BFR. Temperature 12, dew point 2. Current QNH is 1032. Arriving and departing runway 03.
Okay, so the only thing we learned from the ATIS that we didn't learn from the Meta report is the runway in use, which is 03, which is not what I planned for, but no biggie. We will adjust our flight plan once we get our clearance, which we will do now. Nantes ground, EZY8962, ready to copy IFR clearance.
EZY8962 is cleared to Echo Golf Kilo Kilo, fly the BALN3Q departure, with the BALNA transition, then as filed. Expect departure runway 03. Climb to 4,000 feet via the departure. Expect higher clearances 2 minutes after departure. Squawk 6102.
EZY8962 is cleared to Echo Golf Kilo Kilo, fly the Ball 3Q departure, with the BALNA transition, then as filed. Climb to 4,000 feet via the departure. Expect higher clearances 2 minutes after departure. Squawk 6102.
EZY8962 read back correct. QNH is 1032, let us know when you're ready for pushback.
QNH is 1032 EZY8962.
Great, so pretty straightforward. We're following the BALNA 3 Quebec transition, which is more or less straight out, a little bit of a left turn, a little bit of a right turn up to BALNA. No altitude or speed restrictions in the instrument departure, so we can climb straight to 4,000 feet. Hello Science Guy and hello Lewis Gamer 878, nice to see you both. Rex has an update, uninstall and reinstall. Okay, I don't use Rex because I read too many bad things about it, and I find the live weather when it works these days is pretty accurate. Is this the first time I'll fly into the new scenery for Gatwick? No, it isn't. I've been there before, but it's the first time I'm streaming a flight into it. Right, so let's get going then. Init A page, we're going to use a cost index of 12, which is typical for EasyJet. And because it's such a short flight and we're fairly heavy, we're going to be flying at flight level 190, which is very low. And our flight number is U28962. Over to the flight plan page, and we're going to change our departure. So we're going to be taking runway 03, and we're going to be doing the BALNA 3 Quebec. Insert, and hopefully that will have all worked beautifully. We can check it by going over to plan mode here, and that looks about right. Take off to waypoint. Once basically this user waypoint represents being above 490 feet. Then we make a turn to the left, and we fly to BALNA. So yeah, pretty straightforward, as I was saying. Back to arc mode, so that's good. And for our arrival, we are expecting the Vasux 1 Golf arrival, and we're expecting an ILS 26 left approach. So I'm going to put this in now because it's such a short flight, and we can always modify it en route if need be, even though that does make the plane do some strange things occasionally. And we want to go via Willow, although hopefully we'll get vectors before we get to Willow. Hello the Minx, nice to see you. Oh, I'm sorry to hear about your overcast. It's been a little bit sunny here. But still a good day for staying in and watching me fly this beautiful aircraft. Nothing worse than having a really nice sunny day and being stuck inside all of it. Right, what do we need to do now? We need to do our init page. So we'll enter our 0 fuel weight and centre of gravity, and our block fuel is 6.2 tonnes today. And our performance page. Now I have calculated these V speeds for runway, the other one, runway 21, but as the wind is light and variable, as in about 3 knots, it shouldn't make any difference. So we're going to use the same V speeds, which are 149, 149, and 150. And the transition altitude is, if I can find the right chart, 5,000 feet. And we're going to use 1580 and 3080.
Hi, the security and safety checks are all done. Are we good to start boarding?
Yes, you can start boarding.
Okay.
So essentially it's fairly common, depends on the airline and whether there are any stipulations in the departure procedure, but it's fairly common to use 1500 above ground level for your thrust reduction altitude and 3000 for your acceleration altitude. We'll get the APU online now, so master switch on, wait 3 seconds and turn on the starter. And that's our cockpit prep more or less completed. So we'll run the before start checklist down to the line.
Before start checklist.
Cockpit prep.
Completed.
Completed. Gear pins and covers.
Removed.
Signs.
On and auto.
ADIRS.
Nav.
Fuel quantity.
Set.
Takeoff data.
Set.
Baro ref.
1031. Set.
1031. Set. Down to the line.
And we'll carry on below the line once we are ready for pushback. Oh, 32 degrees in Cape Town. I am very, very envious of that. Very envious. But it's nice of you to join me for this stream. I suppose you have so much hot weather in Cape Town that you don't feel the need to make the most of it. So we've got very nice APU startup sounds, as you can hear. Not many aircraft around. I did turn my static aircraft back on, I think. Oh, there's one over there. Little business jet.
Hi guys, here's the load sheet for you.
Thanks.
No problem, have a safe flight.
So we can monitor the APU startup down here if we don't want to go outside and listen to the sounds. Good morning, Tolstoy. Nice to see you. How are things?
Please place your smaller items under the seat in front of you to provide more room for larger items.
Right, so our APU is now available, so we can turn on our APU bleed. Warm it up a little bit in the cabin, I think. I've left it rather cold. Don't like them to be sweating because, you know, it's not very nice for the next passenger. But still, we can certainly put it up to the medium setting. And we will disconnect external power. Hello, Eamon. Nice to see you. I'm very well, thank you. How are you? You are, Zanis. You are the... Well, you're certainly one of the cool guys of Twitch. There's 2 of you in this stream. But thank you for coming. It's nice to see you. Yeah, it must be very early where you are, Tolstoy. Is it 20 to 7 in the morning? Something like that? Right, that is that. We'll turn on our flight directors. And we'll wait for boarding to complete.
Hey guys, all packs are on board. Are we clear to close?
As if by
Thanks,
magic,
let me know if you need anything.
boarding is done. Right, so we're just waiting for the door to be closed up, and then we'll run the before start checklist below the line and get going. No, I don't have multiplayer activated, Zanis, I'm afraid, no. I was considering doing this flight on VATSIM, but there isn't enough coverage at the moment to make it worthwhile. Gatwick was open, but it closed, and there was nothing for the west of France, unfortunately. I could make videos on challenges. The thing is, Eamon, I just don't have that much time at the moment. I'm barely having any time to fly, what with all the scenery reviews and that. Plus, I don't want to show myself up. There are a few AI, yeah, there are a few. Oh, I didn't know about Microsoft's Black Friday sale. That's interesting. I imagine there'll be a fair few people upgrading to the Premium Deluxe or buying the sim for the first time, if it's reduced. Oh, we have another company message. What is it? Maybe I pressed Metar 3 times. Let's see. Received messages. Oh, okay, it's probably just because I didn't open the first one. Okay, so windows and doors are closed. We will get our pushback clearance, turn the beacon on and make a move. Nantes ground, EZY8962, ready for pushback and engine start.
EZY8962 pushback and engine start approved.
Pushback and engine start approved. EZY8962.
Oops, wrong switch. Don't turn the strobes on. Turn the beacon on. That's what we want to do. Check the thrust levers are idle, and then we will run the before start checklist below the line.
Below the line.
Windows and doors.
Closed.
Closed. Beacon.
On.
Thrust levers.
Idle.
Parking brake.
On.
Before start checklist complete.
Okay, so unfortunately we're not going to be able to do a particularly realistic pushback because we are not at 90 degrees to the taxiway centre line, and nothing allows you to do a more than 90 degree or less than 90 degree turn. So we're just going to turn nose left and sort it out after.
Cockpit to ground.
Je vous écoute.
We are ready for pushback and engine start.
Compris. Relâchez le frein de parc, s'il vous plaît.
I thought I was choosing a French
Parking brakes
accent,
released.
not
On repousse.
not requesting someone talking in French. But anyway, adds a little bit of local flavour, doesn't it? Oh, thanks, Homer. That's nice of you to say so. Hello, Ivan. Nice to see you. Welcome to the stream. Okay, so I'm going to have to keep a close eye on this pushback, otherwise we're going to end up on the grass. So I think the thing to do is probably initiate the turn very shortly after we start moving. We may end up in that catering vehicle, but it's his fault. It's a stupid place to park, isn't it, if we're honest? Let's turn here.
Vous êtes clair derrière, vous pouvez mettre en route à votre convenance.
Merci bien. So we will turn our engine mode selector to... what am I doing? Start.
Starting engine 1.
Call starting engine 1. And go back to monitoring the pushback. Oh, thank you, the Minx. That's very nice of you to say so. I'm glad it's useful.
Le repoussage terminé, appliquez le frein de parc s'il vous plaît.
Frein de parc appliqué. I think. I meant to. Oh no.
Parking brake set.
Compris. Ok, l'attelage est déconnecté et clair, nous vous verrons sur le côté droit avec la broche.
Thanks, and you can disconnect and go to hand signals.
He is very
Merci,
serious.
bon vol et à bientôt.
I've learned a bit more French today as well. Frein de parc. Did not know that would be what parking brake was called. Good, so engine 1 is available, and we'll start engine 2.
Starting engine 2.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board today. This is your purser speaking. Please direct your attention to the cabin crew for important safety information. There is an instruction card in your seat pocket that illustrates...
And while that starts up, we'll brighten our displays a little bit. It's very dark when I started this Sims.
Compliance with this information as well as all crew instructions.
2 minutes past 9, not bad, not bad, pretty much on
Fasten your
time.
seatbelt by inserting the metal tip into the buckle. Tighten by pulling on the belt. To release your seatbelt, lift the metal flap on the buckle. It is our policy that you keep your seatbelt fastened at all times.
Non, c'est vrai.
Doors
C'est
are
vrai.
clearly marked with exit signs and instructions for door operation. Each door is equipped with an escape slide.
Okay, so both engines are now online and stable, so we'll turn the engine mode selector back to normal. We will turn off the APU bleed and the APU, turn on the turn the nose light to taxi, and we'll do our after start checklist.
Remain seated with your
After
seatbelt
start
fastened
checklist.
and pull a mask towards you to start the
Anti-ice.
flow of oxygen. Oxygen will be flowing through the mask.
Set.
even though the
ECAM
flag may not be
status.
inflated.
Checked.
Pitch
Cover your
trim.
nose and mouth with
Ah,
Place
I've
the elastic
not
band
set
round
the
your
pitch
head
trim. We want
and tighten by pulling
24%.
on the end. Secure your own mask before assisting others.
It's
Your
24%.
life jacket is
25%
located under
set.
the
Close
seat.
enough.
Rudder trim.
Tighten the
0.
straps
After start
once outside the
checklist
aircraft.
complete.
Pull on the
Will I
strap
do the...
and
Yes, do you know,
place
I've
the
already
jacket.
started it, Louis, and sorry for mispronouncing your
If the
name. Yep,
jacket
I
fails
started
to
it this
inflate,
morning. I'll
use
finish it
the
either
fuse
today or
to
tomorrow.
the neck. Your jacket is equipped with a light that will automatically
Flight control
illuminate
check.
in water.
So I believe the flight control
This is a
check is often done
non-smoking
during
flight.
taxi,
Smoking
but
is
it's
not
a bit
permitted in the
difficult in the
cabin
sim, so
or
we'll
Full
do it
up.
now.
Cabin lights
Full
will now
down.
be turned
Neutral.
off. Reading light
Full
buttons
left.
are located over your head.
Full right.
Thank you very
Neutral.
much for your attention.
Rudder.
Full left. Full right. Neutral.
And we'll wait for the co-pilot to do his, which we can monitor down here. He does that in silence. Right, and we can request our taxi clearance. EZY8962, ready to taxi.
EZY8962 taxi to runway 03 via taxiways Foxtrot. Hold short runway 21.
Taxi to runway 03 via taxiways Foxtrot. Hold short runway 21 EZY8962.
Okay, so those instructions do not really make any sense at all. But fortunately, I know the way. So that's all good. Jakub, nice to see you. Thank you for subscribing.
Clear left side.
Clear right side.
Hello, Jason. Nice to see you. Welcome to the stream.
Brake check.
Pressure 0.
And thanks to the mod, we can now taxi on idle power when we're light, which is prototypical. Yeah, it's very rare for people to ask me about a particular scenery review and to be able to say, yep, it's underway. Normally it's, oh, I don't have time at the moment, or maybe one day, but yep, nearly there with Ibiza. Okay, I believe we can now set our auto brake to max without the toe brakes disengaging it. Yeah, that seems to be the case. We'll press the takeoff config test button. And we'll tell the cabin crew to take their seats, which is a bit early, but it's the only way we can do the before takeoff checklist and have a green ECAM memo.
Before takeoff checklist.
Flight controls.
Checked.
Checked. Flight instruments.
Checked.
Checked. Briefing.
Confirmed.
Flat setting.
Config 1 plus F.
Config 1 plus F. V1, VR, V2, flex temp.
V1 149, VR 149, V2 150.
V1 149, VR 149, V2 150. ATC.
Set.
ECAM memo.
Takeoff no blue.
Down to the line.
Oh, it's nice of you to pop in, Jason. Sorry you're going to miss the stream, but Yeah, there'll be another one next Thursday, I think. I think that'll be the next one I do. Oh, thanks, the links. I will keep them coming. I mean, I just can't keep up at the moment. I've got a couple of developers who have emailed me to ask me to review some sceneries that look very nice, but they're small GA airports, and I know the market is a lot smaller for those. So I've said I'll do them when I can, but sort of no promises. To be honest, I'd quite like the rate of releases to slow down just a little bit, so I have a bit more time to fly. But you know, people do like the reviews, so I'll certainly keep doing them while there's a demand. Okay, so we can turn on our predictive wind shear warning and our weather radar, and we can turn our transponder to TARA. I do really like this Nantes scenery. Yeah, see you then, Jason. Safe journey home. Now, I would expect to have been handed off to the tower by now, but we'll ask. Or we'll tell them we're ready. Nantes ground, EZY8962, ready for departure, runway 03.
EZY8962, contact tower on 118.65.
Tower on 118.65.
Yeah.
EZY8962.
Yes, I don't know if I'll get through all of Gaia's catalogue. It's incredible the amount they've got underway, isn't it? Nantes tower, EZY8962, ready for departure, runway 03.
EZY8962, winds are light and variable, cleared for takeoff, runway 03.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 03, EZY8962.
So strobes on, landing lights on, nose light to takeoff. And as we taxi into position, we'll finish the before takeoff checklist below the line.
Below the line.
Cabin crew, be seated for takeoff. Takeoff runway.
Confirmed.
Confirmed. Cabin crew.
Advised.
Engine mode selector.
Normal.
Packs.
On.
Before takeoff checklist complete.
And we got all the way to the runway without me accidentally taxiing onto a GA apron like last time, so that's good.
Ready?
Ready.
Take off.
Thrust levers to about 50%. Engine stable. Up to flex. I've gotten a little far.
Man flex, SRS runway, auto thrust blue.
Check. Thrust set.
Okay, so I think I may have forgotten to put in the flex takeoff
100
temperature.
knots.
Check.
Never mind.
V1, rotate. Positive climb.
Gear up.
And we'll leave our left turn
Gear
until
up.
we're above 490 feet as per the departure chart. And here we go.
EZY8962, climb and maintain flight level 090.
Climb and maintain flight level 090, EZY8962.
Climb the
AP1,
maintain
check.
flight level 150. Contact BREST center on 123.75.
Up to flight level 90.
Good day.
And we're passing
Climb
out
and
acceleration
maintain flight
altitude, so...
level
Oh no, we're not.
150
No, it's just
center
decided we
on
were climbing too fast. Fair enough.
123.75 EZY8962.
Yeah, there's often a few little anomalies when you engage the autopilot. It wants to do point the nose down and then point it up, but it'll settle down.
150.
Oh, I thought she said 90. Okay. It's the beauty of having a co-pilot doing your comms.
EZY8962, good morning. Radar contact.
Flap 0.
Speed checked.
EZY8962, climb and maintain flight level 150.
Flaps 0.
Climb and maintain flight level 150 EZY8962.
After takeoff, climb checklist.
Landing gear.
Up.
Flaps.
Retracted.
Packs.
On.
Down to the line.
And what did we say about our transition altitude? It was 7,000, I think, wasn't it? No, 5,000. Okay, so we can switch to standard pressure.
Set standard.
Standard. Cross-checked. Passing flight level 060.
No, Dazza, that's awful. Oh, bad luck. I'm sure it'll be quicker than it was
Now.
when it was released, because there must have been thousands of people trying to download it at once, but still, that's irritating.
Below the line.
Barrow ref.
Standard set.
Standard set. After takeoff checklist complete.
Madrid to Barcelona, awesome. Sounds good, Zanis. Louis, did I say there was a new version of the A320NX? Well, I use the master build, and it's updated almost daily with something or other. And to be honest, I've never had it crash on me or anything like that, so I don't bother with the stable builds now. And just every couple of days I'll download the latest master build. So this is from yesterday. I don't know exactly when it was released, but yeah, I try and keep on top of the updates. Louis, I'm no expert on hardware. I'm really not. Other than to say, get the best you can afford. I mean, my system's about 3-4 years old now. I'm running a 1080 Ti graphics card and an i7-8700K processor with 32 gigs of RAM. I think my gut feeling is that GPU is more important than CPU. But at the same time, I'm not certain. I recommend you go on the AVSIM forums. They've got a special hardware forum, and there are people who know what they're talking about on there. So we can turn the seatbelt sign off and the landing lights off as we're passing 10,000 feet. So your community folder and everything's gone. I wonder how that happened. Mind you, I am considering doing a fresh reinstall when the next update comes out. I'm not absolutely sure, but I think my performance has gone downhill a little bit lately, and I don't know why. So it might just be a good time to have a bit of a spring clean. It might well be time for an i9, yeah. The thing is, from day one, well, not from the beta day one, but from day one of release, I've just been blown away by how well this performs. I was expecting it to be a stutterfest on my system, and it isn't. So I think while I'm getting performance that is as good as it is now, there's probably not much point in upgrading, for me at least. But perhaps when we get complex airliner add-ons, it might start to slow things down. And then I will upgrade. Yeah, that's bizarre, Dazza.
Center EZY8962 climbing to flight level 190.
EZY8962, good morning. Radar contact.
No, this livery is from the Mega Pack. Yes, I think it is. I think you do get I-10s now. So now we're in the air, I'll tell you a little bit about our very short route today. So we're essentially flying north over France, and I'll just get the right map up so I can see where we're actually going. So we're flying to the west of Rennes, and Emir, welcome to the channel, thank you for the follow. So we're flying to the east of Rennes, continuing north and just flying along the west coast, quite near the Channel Islands, coasting out over Cherbourg, and then starting our arrival procedure just to the south of the Isle of Wight, flying east along the south coast of the UK, very near Shoreham, interestingly. For those of you who have been following Bimbles around Britain, it's a very similar, well, the opposite route to what we did on the first episode of that. And then heading north again towards Gatwick via probably the Vasix 1 Golf arrival route. It's probably the displays. I think if you're inside a complex airliner like this one, there's a lot of graphics being drawn from these gauges to the nav display and the PFD. You can adjust the refresh rate in the settings, so if it's noticeably different inside and out, I'd recommend trying that. It's in the graphics settings page. I think it is just called display refresh rate, I think. Yeah, that's my worry. Much as I would like a new graphics card or a new processor or both, it's having to upgrade the whole blooming thing that I just can't face, really. And I used to sort of know what I was doing in terms of building computers, but it's been a while, so I'm not actually confident that I could take my motherboard out of my case, put a new one in and install everything onto it without messing something up. Yeah, another option, Science Sky, yeah. Oh, that's interesting. So the AMD processors are more likely to have backwards compatibility. I didn't know that. I remember when I was a teenager and I was building computers in my bedroom, I always opted for AMD processors because I couldn't justify the cost of an Intel, but they're not significantly cheaper anymore, I don't think. Good, well everything's going alright so far, isn't it? Famous last words perhaps, but feels like a long time since I've flown this aircraft. Okay, interesting, Science Guy. I'm going to have to do some serious research if I do upgrade. And of course, I should mention at this point, now we're talking about something vaguely related to money, that there is always, should you choose to, the option to donate to this channel via streamlabs.com/fullwithflies. There's a link in both the YouTube description and on Twitch. No pressure. I love you all equally, whether you donate or not, but it's nice to have the option. trying to see what that river estuary is up ahead. So it actually looks like the estuary of two rivers. I will tell you, Slimline, I'm just going to bring up a little nav map so I can get a better map than I have with Navigraph, and I'll tell you. Basically we're the west coast of France, I can tell you that broadly. Yes, they really have the wings. It's I mean, it's not FS Labs quality, but I certainly think it'll give Aerosoft's version a run for its money. So we're just to the east of Rennes at the moment. We may even be able to see Rennes if we have a look over the left. Yeah, so that town down here is Rennes. And coming up we have a couple of rivers. The Saloon is the first one we're going to cross. You see where that sort of inlet is over here. That is the estuary of the River Saloon, and the River Seille. We're going to pass more or less overhead, or perhaps slightly to the west of Laval-Saint-Père Airport, which is near Avranches. And that is about as much detail as I think anyone could possibly want about where we're flying at the moment. Yeah, I did Cafel, yeah, and that is, they're just basically, they seem to be ticking off the features that I really liked in the FS Labs Airbus. You could do the same there. So it is amazing what a community of freeware developers are achieving. Yeah, I hope it runs on your Xbox One. I've never owned an Xbox, so I don't really have any concept of which models it'll be compatible with and how well it'll run on different systems. In fact, I've never owned a console of any sort. Oh really, Lou? He's really on it. I mean, there are updates every day. I don't think I even had the one from before 5 minutes ago. I was in the sim, and about 20 minutes before the stream started I thought I'll go and check. So I think I am on a slightly older version of it. But I'm going to do, I'll give you a little look around it today, but I'm going to start my freeware focus series shortly, in which I'm going to look at some of the best freeware add-ons that are currently available for the sim. And it'll definitely feature in that with whatever the latest version is when I get around to filming it. I've heard a little bit about VR support. I think they're beta testing it as we speak, because in one of their video updates they talked about how they were looking for a group of beta testers to try out the VR in it. It was for one specific headset model, I can't remember which, but it's definitely underway. Hello Pablo, welcome to the stream again. Nice to see you. Nice to see you back. Oh, okay, that's good news. I mean, they probably wouldn't be releasing it on a platform that they weren't pretty sure could handle it, I guess.
EZY8962 contact press center on 120.15 good day.
Center on 120.15 EZY8962.
What do I think of the Dreamliner? It's a lot better than it was. I don't love it, if I'm honest. I don't love it. I had issues with the approach, as you might have seen. Various people seem to have different problems with it.
Radar contact.
But I'm very much looking forward to the Quality Wings version, which I used to have for P3D. So that's basically my baseline. That's what I think of as how a Dreamliner flies, having never flown one in real life. And it doesn't really feel very much like that. It feels a little bit light on the control, on the handling. The autopilot's better than I thought it was going to be. It was certainly better than it was when it first came out. But yeah, it's got a little way to go still, I would say. No worries. I'm very excited about the CRJ. That's a plane I've never flown before. But I've been looking at the sort of routes you can do in it, and they're really interesting, particularly around Canada and around Europe. So I think it'll take me a little time to learn how to fly it, but I'll certainly do some streams in it once I've got the basics grasped. Okay, so I'm going to give control to the co-pilot for a mo and set up for the approach.
You have control.
I have crew, prepare for arrival.
Yeah, they've got about 3 versions of Gatwick available, I think. I've got the Premium Deluxe one, and it runs absolutely fine from what I've seen so far. But yeah, they do sort of a light version, as you say, and I think there's a medium version as well. I can't remember what they call it. Right, so we are expecting an ILS 26 left approach, as I said, so we'll check the frequency. Is it in here? 110.9 is correct. We'll go to our approach perf page. In fact, we should probably update the weather, shouldn't we? So we can get the very latest. So wind 240 at 11. Temperature 12. QNH 1026. And now all we need to do is go back to perf and put it in there. And the MDA is, for a Category 1 ILS, 396. Going to set the auto brake to medium. Probably we could get away with low for this airport, but I don't quite trust this model to slow down. It seems to be varying between different releases. So medium it is, and that's us pretty much sorted. So we'll take back control.
I have control.
You have control.
And we will await our descent clearance. It should be in about 15 minutes' time. That's an interesting point, Pablo. I had sort of considered Dundee as I don't really need it sort of an airport, but yeah, you might be right. Let's have a look. So there are only 3 routes from Dundee, 2 routes in fact at the moment. One's to Belfast, one's to London City, and they are both in the ATR 45. So So that's unfortunate. But maybe this is just a COVID thing. I'm a bit of a victim of my own insistence on flying real-world flights in real-world aircraft, because it would be a perfect aircraft to fly there, but if it doesn't happen in reality, I don't tend to simulate it. But certainly I'll be flying to places like what's it called, Ellesund, and the one I did a review of not that long ago in Norway. Can't remember. Lots of Norwegian airports have flights there. Lots of smaller German airports as well with CRJs, and a fair few Air Canada. I've forgotten what they call it. It's not Air Canada Regional, but their subsidiary. They fly a lot of CRJs as well, if I remember rightly. So it'll definitely give access to different parts of the world. Yeah, it's a good idea. If I can make up a scenario, we'll do it. I'm going to start with just scenery, Louis, because I think YouTube's a visual forum predominantly, and I want to give people a chance to see what's out there. But yeah, I wouldn't rule out doing other freeware stuff later on. I've had a few requests to look at what's this, one of these company manager add-ons. Is it On Air? Might be On Air. Whichever one is free. So yeah, I might do that at a later date. But yeah, to start with just scenery. Oh, Inverness is out, is it? Okay, cool. I've seen them, Science Guy. I haven't actually flown any of them, because if I'm not mistaken, they're going to fly exactly the same as the A320, the CJ4, and the I don't know how the A330 flies, but I presume it uses this cockpit. Now I may be doing them down. They might be wonderful, but they don't appeal unless they have realistic flight models, basically.
EZY8962 expect the Vasu 1 Golf arrival with the Vasux transition for the ILS approach to runway 26 left at Gatwick after Gokto cleared direct Vasux contact London control on 118.47. Enjoy your morning.
Expect the Vasu 1 Golf arrival with the Vasux transition for the ILS approach to runway 26 left after Gokto.
Well, this is the arrival and approach we're expecting.
118.47 EZY8962.
So we have a couple of restrictions on this arrival route.
Center EZY8962 at flight level 190.
Will it let us input them, and more importantly, will it follow them?
Radar
So, Tel
contact.
2, we're supposed to be at flight level 130. Interesting. That's good, and our speed should be no more than 250. But I'll accept 220 because you can't edit the speeds. We'll just see if it follows it. Should be at 220 by Holly. And flight level 70 at Willow. So we could maybe change that. No, it still won't let us edit waypoints on the arrival. Never mind. Ah, good. Well, thank you for doing that so I don't have to, Science Guy. I sort of felt maybe I was missing out on something amazing and was just making unfair assumptions. But yeah, that's what I expected. Bad lad, Dazzy. You'll get there. You'll get there. How's your new PC going, Pablo? Yeah, you see, I'll let other people stream flights in those. They're not for me. What I really want is, of course, like so many people, I think, that the PMDG 737. I think I marginally prefer flying A320s to 737s, but it'll give me access to a whole new network of routes around Europe with Ryanair, especially now we're getting a Stansted from Gaia. So I'm more excited than ever about that one. Oh, good, good. I'm glad it's working well for you, Pablo. Nice. Hello, Byte 2007. Welcome to the stream. How are you? Good, I'm pleased, I'm pleased. So we can't see much down below, but I can tell you that we're over the English Channel now, just beyond the northern coast, just beyond Cherbourg, and we'll be starting our descent fairly soon, passing to the east of the Isle of Wight, and then onto the mainland, just south of Chichester, heading east, north of Littlehampton, Bognor, Worthing, places like that, and Brighton, before hopefully getting vectored to final for runway 26 left at Gatwick. What's your channel about, Irish Aviator? What have we got on there? It's expensive if you are new to flight simulation, I agree. But if you've been simming for years, like I have, it's incredibly cheap for what you get, I think. But yeah, if you want the premium deluxe edition with all of the add-on airports and the extra aircraft, then it is quite a lot of money. Are you flying an A380 on these Irish Aviators? I'm just having a quick look now. I'll check it out later on properly. But the A380 intrigues me because it looks like Microsoft Flight Sim and it looks like an A380. But can these things be possible? Marshall Blazo, thank you for the sub. Yeah, I have played X-Plane 11. Not very much. I've mostly flown Microsoft simulators. I didn't like X-Plane as much. I think it's just down to what you get used to. It's quite hard to make the switch. Yeah, I mean this is it, Beta's engine. It's what you're used to, isn't it? Oh yes, I see what you mean. I see what you mean, Zenji. Yeah, I've not seen that before. Thank you, Byte. Thank you for the sub and the follow. Appreciate it. Good. I'm glad you're enjoying them, Marshall. Yeah, so for those of you who are unsure what Beta's engine is talking about, he's talking about this repeating pattern, which we used to get all the time in earlier sims, but it's quite rare to see it in this one.
EZY8962 descent via the BASU-1G arrival with the VSUX transition to 2,000 feet QNH is 1026 at Gatwick.
Descent via the VASU-1G arrival with the VASUX transition to 2,000 feet QNH is 1026 EZY8962.
So our first step down is to TEL 2. We want to be at flight level 130. And she's given us clearance to 2,000. That seems very odd, seeing as the star doesn't get us below 7,000. Do you know, I haven't tried the 747 since the early days when it was rubbish. I might have to give it another go. I know. See, I can't run prepared as well as I can run this sim, and it looks rubbish in the same way by comparison. It's very hard to go back once you've seen this, even though I do miss all of my add-ons. Do I recommend Navigraph charts? Yes, I do. I think they're a little expensive for what they are, but a Navigraph subscription gives you the ability to use SimBrief realistically with the latest AIRAC cycle as well as the charts, and also update your add-ons so everything works together smoothly, and it's worth it for that. My sensitivity settings are the default, Tony, with the exception of I've increased the null zone, or the dead zone, whatever they call it in this sim, of all the axes to 6. Other than that, they're default. It's working to a certain extent, Marshall. I don't think it yet follows all of the constraints properly, and you still can't modify you can't modify any speed constraints. You can't modify the altitude constraints of the approach. So it's got a little way to go, but it will stop your climb or descent at the appropriate altitude. Right, I see. I'm hearing mixed things. Have you got the Salty Sim mod for it, Pablo? Yeah, well, I use restream.io, so I'm only actually outputting one stream, and then restream.io forwards it to both YouTube and Twitch. I don't know if I would have the bandwidth to do both directly. I also don't have the software to do both directly, so it's works well for me. So now we should have a speed constraint of 250 here, and I can't remember if it was in there. One of them was, wasn't it? Tell 2 we're going to, yeah. So it does know about the 220 speed restriction. Let's see if it slows down. That'll be another aspect of VNav to test. Yes, I use Streamlabs OBS, yeah. So I'm just going to trust it. I'm going to leave it in managed speed mode until we pass Tel 2 and see if it slows down by itself. I suspect it won't, but we'll see. Oh, thank you, Bye. That's nice of you to say.
EZY8962 contact Gatwick radar director.
Yeah, there's so many different styles of streaming. It's interesting.
Radar director on 118.95 EZY8962.
I was watching XP72 the other day, and I really like his stuff. He's incredibly upbeat and cheerful, enthusiastic, even if he's flying for 7 hours. And I don't know how he has the energy.
EZY8962, good morning. Radar contact. Continue descent via the Vasu 1 Golf arrival. For the ILS approach to runway 26 left at Gatwick.
Let's turn on some anti-ice before we go below the clouds.
For the ILS approach to runway 26 left, EZY8962.
Yep, so it's not following our speed constraints, so we will use selected airspeed mode to do it. And we'll begin our descent to 7,000.
EZY8962 turn left heading 055 vectors to the ILS approach for runway 26 left at Gatwick, descent and maintain 3,500 feet, contact radar director on 118.95. Good morning.
Heading 055 vectors to the ILS approach for runway 26 left, descent and maintain 3,500 feet, radar director on 118.95 EZY8962.
Yeah, I do my best to keep up with the chat. There are times when I just can't if I'm concentrating or there's too much going on, but yeah, I enjoy the chatting. Otherwise I may as well fly on my own. Yes, I'm not absolutely sure, Lars. They certainly had a version of Brussels for earlier sims, but I don't know much about their plans for this one. Let's use a little bit of speed brake to get us down quicker. Is there an alternative for SimBrief AirRack apart from Navigraph? I don't think there is, the Minx. No, I don't think so. Certainly the only option I've noticed. Otherwise the default is, it's out of date, but it's not, decades out of date. It is usable. It just might be when you import the flight plan into your sim that some of the waypoints don't exist, and that's a bit of a pain in the bum. Where do you turn on the radar? Down here. So you've got radar system 1 and system 2, and you need to turn the predictive wind shear to auto as well. Both of these things shouldn't be done while you're on the ramp though, because it's bad for the ramp workers. Matthias Koch, yes, I agree, he does know his stuff. He gets a lot of stick when deadlines are missed and things like that, but yeah, I quite like him as well. Oh, is it? I didn't know that, LJ Vlogs. That is interesting. I'm always surprised by the flights that are operated by these wide-body aircraft. I know BA and Iberia, or certainly BA, I think Iberia, do a lot between Heathrow and Madrid in 787s and A350s and things. Yes, I do have one tutorial on the A320. Lethal Venom. Yep, you can find it in my tutorials playlist on my YouTube channel. It takes you through setting up the cockpit from cold and dark through to pushback. And people keep asking me to do another one, and I might one day, but it drove me mad doing it. Because every time I stumbled over my words or said the wrong thing or did something in the wrong order, I had to go back and start the sim again and set it up. So it took me about 10 hours for a 25-minute video. It's a lot of effort. But yeah, it's a good start. It'll point you in the right direction. Now I have had some problems with vectored approaches with Pilot 280C lately, but we'll see how it does. Interesting. See, I'd have thought because of COVID they just wouldn't be flying their wide-body planes on short-haul routes. I've always assumed it was when there's really high passenger loadings that they do that sort of thing. Turn our landing system on. This aircraft is really slippery at the moment. We're letting it do 250 knots. I'd quite like to slow down soon, but we're still only able to get a 1200 feet per minute descent rate. I guess it's partly because of this tailwind. Yeah, maybe LJ Vlogs. Right, seatbelt signs on. Should have done that quite a bit earlier, but never mind, I thought I had. And because we are below the transition level, we'll set the pressure to local.
1026 set.
1026 set. Passing 4,000.
We'll activate the approach mode and go back to manage speed.
Now.
Check.
Which will start slowing us down to our flap extension speed. Thank you for the sub, Lethal Venom. Welcome to the channel. You stay on standard up until the transition level, which varies from country to country. Or until you are cleared to an altitude rather than a flight level.
EZY8962 turn right heading 060.
Heading 060 EZY8962.
Maybe that would be good. I'd be
962 turn
impressed by
left
that.
heading 341 descent and maintain 3,000 feet.
What?
Heading 341 descent and maintain 3,000 feet EZY8962.
These are some bizarre vectors.
EZY8962 heading is 341.
No, I hadn't LJ Vlogs. Interesting.
EZY8962 cleared for ILS to runway 26 left fly heading 286 to intercept final descent and maintain 2,000 feet.
Cleared for ILS approach to runway 26 left fly heading 286 descent and maintain 2,000 feet EZY8962.
Okay, so that all happened very suddenly, didn't it? They could have given us an intercept heading a little earlier, because we are going to overshoot. However, we will go back and intercept it.
Approach checklist.
Briefing.
Confirmed.
ECAM status.
Checked.
Baro ref.
1026 set.
1026 set.
That's my
Minimum.
co-pilot.
Engine mode selector.
From flight crew A320.
Normal.
Approach checklist complete.
Flaps 1.
Speed checked. Flaps 1.
EZY8962 QNH is 1026 at Gatwick contact tower on 124.22. Have a nice day.
Yes, I have seen photos of it, Samsonite. I haven't used it yet, but I will download it.
Flaps 2.
Speed checked. Flaps 2.
Gear down.
Tower EZY8962 inbound for ILS approach
Gear
runway
down.
26 left.
EZY8962.
I'm using
good
Pilot
morning.
2 ATC for my
Radar
ATC.
contact. Continue ILS to runway 26 left call when established on final.
Continue ILS to runway 26 left will call when established on final EZY8962.
Yeah, the weather looks pretty accurate today, doesn't it? And yeah, it is a short flight, because it's my one day off in the middle of 6 12-hour shifts. So I wanted to do something, but I didn't want to take up all day with it. We'll do a longer one next time. And now we're at Gatwick. The world is our oyster, really, in terms of A320 flights. Maybe we'll go to Ibiza, maybe we'll go to Cologne, Florence. Lots of options, but I will mull it over and we'll do a slightly longer stream on Thursday.
Flaps 3.
Speed checked. Flaps 3.
Flaps full.
Speed checked.
Flaps full.
No, I'm not a pilot in real life, no.
Cabin crew, be seated for landing.
I don't remember turning AI labels on. Never mind.
Landing checklist.
Cabin crew.
Advised.
Auto thrust.
Speed.
Auto brake.
There are. Yes, there are LJ blocks.
Low.
ECAM memo.
Landing no blue.
Landing checklist complete.
Welcome back, Bite, and hello, Whatkelp. Nice to see you. Just in time. Right, I'm going to have to ignore you at the moment, I'm afraid. Concentrate on the landing, and I'll speak to you again after touchdown.
230 at 10 knots, cleared to land runway 26 left.
Clear to land runway 26 left, EZY8962.
Above 300. Minimum.
Continue.
200.
Oh, wing roll. Come on.
10.
That bug is back with a vengeance, it really is. I didn't have it for weeks and weeks and weeks. And now, almost every flight, I have an uncommanded roll to the left or the right.
$70 knots.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the conclusion of our flight. Please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the captain has turned off the seatbelt sign and the aircraft is parked safely. This will be your indication that it is safe to move around the cabin, gather your belongings and disembark. We'd like to thank you for flying with us today. We appreciate your business and we hope to see you once again on a future flight. Thank you.
Right. I'll try and have a look at your messages as I taxi. EasyJet. EasyJet fly definitely to Florence. I think they fly to Cologne as well. I'm not absolutely certain. It's either them or British Airways. This is in the before COVID schedule. There's virtually nothing now, but yeah. Sorry about the view jumping around. That's my cat walking between me and the track IR sensor. That's what's going on there. Oh, thank you, Pablo. I do my best. I just really like it when the plane works properly. But you know, it wasn't too bad. Well, it wasn't great, but it wasn't too bad considering I lost aileron authority. Yeah, thanks, the Minx. Yeah, no, it's an issue I have.
After landing checklist.
Flaps.
Cats in the cockpit.
Retracted.
Spoilers.
Disarmed.
APU.
Start.
Radar.
Off.
Predictive wind shear system.
Off.
After landing checklist complete.
Ah, thank you, Tolstoy. I didn't know you were flying along. One day we must do a flight together, for sure. Right, which gate am I going to? I did write it down, 560. Okay, yeah, I know where that is. No. Can you lock it now? No, you can. I'm not that fussed about these dials and knobs that don't really do anything. In the context of the sim, I mean. You need really good charts, what kelp. I've messed it up before as well. but I have the Navigraph airport chart and parking stand chart ready to go, and then I write down the taxiways, and I taxi quite slowly and make sure I don't miss a turn. Yes, I thought you'd be impressed with the Gatwick scenery. Yeah, well, they give you clearances, and if I don't write them down as I go, I just mess it all up. Yeah, I mean, this is probably one of the best freeware sceneries I've seen. I think the Istanbul that was it Samsonite? Someone was talking about earlier looks even better still. Now, I did not anticipate this construction site, I have to say. I wanted to go that way. Never mind. We'll take a little bit of a detour to the parallel taxiway and come back. No, this isn't the default Gatwick. This is a freeware upgrade that someone, I've forgotten his name, has done on flightsim.ta. There's a link in the YouTube video description, Josh. Yeah, I'd like a really good skiffle. The premium deluxe skiffle is alright, but one day Fly Tampa will bring their version across, I'm sure. And yeah, it'll be worth waiting for. I don't do reviews for freeware, but what I am going to do is I'm going to start a new video series, which I'd like to do once a month, but I don't really want to commit to in case I run out of time, called Freeware Focus, and I'm going to spend 20 minutes or so looking at 2 or 3 of the best scenery add-ons that you can get for free. I don't think it's fair to do a full review because these people are, spending their own time doing it out of the goodness of their heart, so I won't be saying anything critical, basically, but I'll give you a tour around, and yeah, you can make your mind up. But basically, if it's on my freeware video, I think it's good. Yeah, I know. It does look like a payware add-on. So I had 2 Gatwicks for prepared, UK 2000s and Genosofts. And they were both slightly better than this, but not significantly.
Taxi light off.
Yeah, I should really make a start on it at some point. If payware developers would stop releasing so many blimmin' series, I could have had it done by now. Sceneries, I mean. I'll park up and then I will catch up with all the messages I've missed. I'm not the best at parking at the best of times without trying to read as well. Right, APU bleed on, anti-ice off. Engines off. Seatbelt off. And beacon off. And we've got external power, so we don't even need the APU. Turn that off as well.
Parking checklist.
APU bleed.
On.
Engines.
Off.
Seat belts.
Off.
Exterior lights.
Set.
Fuel pumps.
Off.
Parking brake and chocks.
On and in.
Parking checklist complete.
Right. Looking forward to that series. Good, good. I will try and make it worth waiting for, Science Guy. Josh, I'm a P3D player still behind with MS 2020 and contemplating moving over. Okay, interesting question. So I've always flown, well, not say always, I used to fly prepared as well. And I have to say, you're right, there are certain things that are missing from this, most notably planes that fly properly, or airliners that fly properly. And we don't have anything like GSX, we don't have VGGS, we don't have decent pushback. But in terms of the feeling of immersion, for me, even with all its faults, this blows anything else out the water. And I tried to go back to prepared because I wanted to fly the FS Labs, and it was just rubbish in comparison. And I never thought I was particularly fussed by eye candy. I thought, well, I want a technically accurate aircraft to fly, but for me, this feels a lot closer to flying in the real world than anything that's gone before it. So I would give it a go, see what you think. You're very welcome, LJ Vlogs, and nice to see you. Okay, see you soon. Oh yes, yeah, I've done a flight there actually, Louis. I haven't done a review of it, but we did fly to Rhodes. It's not a bad airport. Well, here we are. Welcome to Gatwick, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the stream. If you did, do please subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on Twitch. Consider donating via Streamlabs if you'd like to. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Minx, you wouldn't mind Stuttgart. It's not in the Bing satellite imagery because it is military, I believe. But that's not to say it can't be added. I'm sure it will be at some point. Right, yes, as I was saying, thanks for joining me, and see you again soon on Philbert Flies, I hope. Enjoy the rest of your weekends. Bye-bye.